You ever wonder what separates a good idea from an idea that actually, changes the world? It's usually not the idea itself. It's how it's communicated. Today, we're going to unlock some ancient secrets to making your message not just heard, but really felt and acted upon. So let's start with that question, right there. Just think for a second about the best speakers you've ever heard, the leaders you really look up to. Heck, even that one friend who's amazing at convincing you to try a new restaurant. How do they do it? It kind of feels like magic, right? Well, it's not. It's a skill, and it's a skill you can learn. And get this, the key to unlocking this skill isn't some brand new marketing hack or a fancy app. Nope. The answer is a framework that's over 2,000 years old, first mapped out by none other than the Greek philosopher Aristotle. Okay, let's dive in. Here's the game plan. First, we'll nail down what the art of persuasion really is. Then, we're going to unpack Aristotle's super powerful rhetorical triangle. From there, we'll get into the human side of things with ethos and pathos, and then we'll cover the logical backbone with logos. Finally, we'll pull it all together and see what a truly persuasive leader looks like in action. All right, first up, what are we really talking about when we say persuasion? Because it's way more than just winning an argument or using clever words. It's about building a message that connects with both someone's head and their heart. At its core, persuasion is really about this: closing the gap between what you meant to say and the impact it actually has. It's making sure that your message lands exactly the way you want it to, so you can inspire real action and do it all with authenticity. So how do we actually do that? Well, this brings us to Aristotle's masterpiece, the rhetorical triangle. I want you to think of this thing as your personal map for any communication challenge you face, whether it's a huge client presentation or just a tough conversation you need to have. So the triangle stands on three really powerful interconnected pillars. You've got ethos, which is all about you, the speaker. Then there's pathos, which is all about your audience. And finally, logos, which is the message itself, the logic and the structure. Let's break each one down. We're going to look at ethos and pathos together first. And there's a good reason for that. These two are all about the human element. They're about how you build a genuine bridge between your idea and the person listening on the other side. Okay, let's talk ethos. This is your credibility, your authority, your character. And here's the thing. Before anyone really hears what you have to say, they make a split-second decision about whether they want to listen to you at all. It's about earning the right to be heard. You've got to build that trust first. And then we have pathos. This is the appeal to emotion. This is where you connect with people's values, their hopes, their fears, their feelings. Facts and figures are great, but it's the story that really moves us. Pathos is the story. It's why an ad showing one person's struggle is so much more powerful than a spreadsheet full of statistics. In this slide, this just nails it. It breaks down the two silent questions that are always running through your audience's mind. With ethos, you're answering, okay, why should I listen to you? You're building that trust. But with pathos, you're answering a much deeper question. Why should I even care about this? You've got to make it matter to them personally. You absolutely need both. This quote from Helen Keller is just pure pathos. It's not trying to win a logical debate. It's an appeal to a shared human experience that we all get. It completely bypasses the analytical part of our brain and speaks right to the heart. That's the power of pathos. It makes an idea not just understood, but truly felt. All right, so we've built that human connection. We've spoken to the heart. Now it's time to build the rational spine of our argument. Let's bring in the final piece of the triangle, logos. Logos is all about the appeal to reason. It is the proof. If ethos and pathos are what gets you in the door to your audience's mind and heart, logos is the solid, undeniable case you make once you're inside. It's the data, the evidence, the sound reasoning that makes your point hard to ignore. So what does a strong logical argument actually look like? Well, it's not about being complicated. It's about being crystal clear. You start with a clear claim. You back it up with solid evidence, facts, data, real-world examples. And the key is you connect all those dots with sound reasoning so your audience can easily follow your logic from point A to point B. So now we have our three powerful tools: ethos, pathos, and logos. But the real mastery, the thing that separates the good communicators from the great ones, isn't just using them one at a time. It's about blending them together. And this is maybe the biggest takeaway of all. There's no single one-size-fits-all formula here. Real influence comes from knowing who you're talking to, understanding the situation, and then consciously choosing the right blend of these three appeals to make the biggest impact. Think of it like a DJ at a mixing board. If you're pitching a new engineering project, you're probably going to crank up the logos, heavy on the data and the logic. But if you're giving a toast at a wedding, you're gonna lean way into pathos, all about shared feelings and stories. It's a strategic choice you get to make every single time.
So at the end of the day, what's the whole point? It's to use this blend to communicate a clear vision, to inspire people to take action that matters, to influence positive outcomes for your team, your company, your community, and to do it all with real authenticity and purpose. That right there is what persuasive leadership is all about.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one thought. Your next big idea, that project you're passionate about, it absolutely deserves to be heard. Now that you're armed with ethos, pathos, and logos, the only question left is, how will you choose to persuade?